War Patrols, created by William Schmaltz. Copyright 2025. All rights reserved. This episode of War Patrols is sponsored by Flag Up Mailbox, located in Ironwood, Michigan. USS Harder, SS-257, Report of Third War Patrol. October 31st, 1943. En route to Midway held daily dives, fire control drills, and conducted Wolfpack coordinated attack drills with other subs. This training en route to war zone is invaluable. November 3rd. Sighted aircraft escort and exchanged recognition signals. Arrived Midway. Moored alongside USS Pargo at Submarine base. Camouflaged ship with paint jobs similar to that of other subs in the Wolfpack. Took on 13,000 gallons of fuel. Departed Midway under air escort in company with other subs of task group. Made 12 knots speed on assigned course. Crossed international date line and advanced calendar one day. November 6th. Held fire control drills during the morning. Conducted joint search exercises with USS Pargo using USS Snook as target. Sighted Snook hull down. Submerged and simulated torpedo attack. Formed column with other subs. Snook leading Harder. 20-mile interval between ships for night's run across the Wake Marcus Island line. November 12th. Heavy vibration in number 4 main engine. Engine secured and teeth found to have broken off throughout the gear train. This engine now considered available for use only in case of extreme emergency. 1200 arrived at designated station, slowed to 10 knots, and commenced surface patrol. 1400, ship sighted through high periscope. Ship identified as a small patrol vessel accompanied by a cargo vessel, the other an armed trawler. Started approach on the cargo ship. The leading patrol craft proved to have high nuisance value. The trawler escort maintained station on the port quarter of the cargo ship. 1600. Fired 3 torpedoes from the forward tubes with 2-degree divergent spread and 8-foot depth setting. Range 750 yards. 27 seconds after the first shot, number 1 torpedo struck the target just aft of the stack, and a few seconds later, number 2 hit just forward of the stack. The destructive effect of these 2 hits was the most instantaneous and complete yet witnessed on 3 war patrols. The target broke in the middle, the stern port went down tail high in less than 10 seconds, and the remainder of the ship seemed to disintegrate. Large and small chunks of it were hurled high into the air, the escort now headed for the Harder. Ordered right full rudder to get off torpedo tracks.
Hard right rudder!
Ahead full speed and deep submergence as we rigged for depth charge and silent running. As we passed 100 feet, 2 depth charges exploded rather close. Increased depth to 300 feet. Another heavy but more distant explosion was now heard. 1700. Returned to periscope depth and found a surprising picture there. The trawler escort was dead in the water, listing 20 degrees to starboard, and had his stern blown completely off. He was settling by the stern. His crow's nest was dangling from the foremast by a single cable, and his top sides presented a mass of wreckage and twisted metal. He was being circled by the other patrol craft. He might have been struck by number 3 torpedo if it had made a circular run, but a more likely guess is that one of his own depth charges exploded in the racks. No sign of life was in evidence. Considered putting a boarding party aboard to obtain any papers or equipment of interest, but concluded against this in view of the nearness to the Jap air base on Maug Island, 80 miles away, choppy seas, and the presence of the other Jap patrol ship, which had probably already taken off any survivors of the wreck. 1850 battle surfaced, 500 yards from floating wreck. Sprayed his topsides with 20mm shells and fired 10 rounds of 3-inch into the hull. Choppy sea and darkness caused some misses even at this close range. Close to 100 yards, again raked target from bow to stern with 20mm and holed him near waterline with 11 more rounds from the 3-inch. Target burst into flames, which lasted about half a minute, and then started filling with water rapidly and expected to sink of its own accord. It was not worth a torpedo. During the gun action, our SJ radar monitored the nearby patrol vessel, which stayed at a range of 4,000 yards and showed no inclination to be drawn into the show. Withdrew from the scene of wreck and set course to rejoin other subs of the pack. Cargo vessel sunk was similar in type to the 4,000-ton Macassar Maru. The trawler of about 800 tons is claimed as sunk, with an unintentional assist by the enemy. November 13th, sighted Snook, distant about 9 miles. Arrived at designated rendezvous and commenced surface patrol covering the bottleneck of traffic lanes between Rota and Saipan. 1300. Aircraft contact remained on surface. This plane, a twin-engine patrol type, probably sighted at least one of us today and may have routed enemy ships around us. Am strongly suspicious that he may have homed in on our SD radar. November 19th, 0200, radar contact on 3 large ships at 27,000 yards. The finest performance yet obtained by our radar. Sent target course on radio to other subs. The Japs jammed our attempts to communicate with the other subs by holding down their key on our frequency. Further messages were not considered to be justified. The picture now developed as follows. 3 large ships, either freighters or tankers, with 3 escorts were zigzagging at 10 knots. Harder, on port quarter of the convoy, making 17 knots, adjusting course to run around left flank of convoy to gain position ahead for attack. At ranges less than 20,000 yards, 3 large targets, smoking intermittently, were clearly visible from the bridge. 1 escort was patrolling from 5,000 to 2,000 yards ahead of the formation, and 2 escorts were guarding the port and starboard quarters respectively. 0500 gained position 15,000 yards ahead of convoy, submerged, and commenced the approach at radar depth, 35 feet. At 10,000 yards, increased depth to 40 feet. Leading escort appeared to have become suspicious. He had been 5,000 yards ahead of the convoy, but at range of 8,000 yards, he dropped back to a position of 2,000 yards. Sound conditions were good. Escort's propellers were heard at 6,000 yards, and he stopped, then went ahead at regular intervals, as if listening. End of part 1.